So I want to thank you for allowing me some space to share some thoughts with you today. And I have the honor and privilege to introduce to you my friend and colleague who is leading this initiative, the LGBT plus masterclass, fabulous masterclass, my friend and colleague, Helmut Love. Helmut.
Hey, how are ya?
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. I'm so excited. We had over 250 people sign up for this class, so it's pretty
Hey,
exciting. And
good.
now I apologize to you guys. Some of you are out there like trying to chat and you can't because the questions are all going to a private section. So I apologize for that. I think only presenters can chat right now. So if you're frustrated out there, I am so sorry. We will work on that. Thank you, Gabrielle. My name is Dr. Helmut Lucero Love, and my pronouns are he, him. And we're very excited for really several amazing sessions from several amazing people that we have assembled together. I wanted to take the opportunity up front to chat with you all a little bit and give you a little bit of some time with me to talk about what we're doing here, why we've created the Gaily Impact, and what we hope you achieve from this session in the next 15 minutes. It won't be too long, and then we'll get going with our very first speaker, Dr. Elijah Nicholas. So, all right, I want to invite you to just know that the Gaily Impact was created with a really specific intention. And that intention is to share love with the community. Love from several LGBTQ parents, actually. So I am so thankful to work with Marcy and Gabrielle. If you'll notice a common theme, they are both parents and they both have taken care of their own tribe of children and have now poured a lot of their love back into the community. And you all are not aware as well, we have our board members are actually, two of them are gay fathers. One with 2 children, one with 5 children. So this is a lot about giving love back to the community, for the community. And the Gaily Impact, if you kind of want to put it in a phrase, if you want to describe it in a certain way, we think of it as a house of love. And when we say that, well, what is a house of love, right? You know, I tend to think of it, you know, Christians have churches, Jewish people have synagogues, Muslims have mosques, Hindus have temples. In the gay community, we have houses. So we have chosen families that we create. We often are rejected by our original families. Thankfully today, that's not the story for many, but in many ways we create our own network of humans. And that's not actually unlike many of our straight peers at the end as well. We create our own unique families. We kind of pull together people that we love and trust, and we call them brother and friend. And we make together community and share together love. And that's a very, very important part of the LGBTQ community. I wanted to share with you all that I feel like, as I can speak with my Gaily Impact family, that we have so appreciated the parenting that's already happened. So we talked about, Marcy did, all of the amazing things that have gone before us. We are just a part of a movement that's been a long time, a movement of love that's been going for a long time. And if you think about the great leadership that we've seen in the drag community, right? I call them the first wave of parents, people who took on a lot of the banner and took on a lot of the courage to speak up and to be visible. They're entertaining, they're fun, but they're also sensitive and sweet. And as you all know, actually you may not know, we had RuPaul here in Atlanta. We actually had a RuPaul Day here in Atlanta recently. And he and the rest of his community have taught the world that, right, what we wear, what we adorn ourselves with, everything we do in life is drag. Today I wore, you know, my best little mustache today to give you my my best cool 70s gay guy look. But in reality, who I am inside, you don't know. This is an outside adornment. And I think here at the Gaily Impact, I can speak for Marcy, I speak for Gabrielle, we are obsessed with how you are adorning your heart. How are you adorning your mind? How are you adorning your soul? Who is the person behind all those layers? And how much are we working as an LGBTQ community to really pull forth the best version of ourselves out? That is something that we are obsessed with at the Gaily Impact. And that's why you see us focused on three important pillars, right? The first one is personal empowerment, the ability to claim your own right to be happy, to be joyous, to be a whole person and fully at the table. Something that we have been fighting so long for. And as Gabrielle mentioned, we're still fighting for our trans community, but don't be fooled. We're not just fighting to kind of be allowed to catch crumbs. We are we are continued to be fighting so that we get a full seat at the table, equal with all of our colleagues in the human race. And that's an important part, our empowerment as adults to go beyond just surviving, but into thriving, and then ultimately into loving others. The second part of our pillars is around relationships, and we'll go through all of these in details in our opening on tomorrow morning. But our relationships are so important, right? Our connections with each other. You're going to see that that's one of the important themes in some of the speakers that we have coming to talk to you all. And that's really about the connections that we have in the world and how important they are, whether they are our significant others or our important web and network of friends, or if they are our children. Our relationships are so important. And the third thing we want to celebrate is our seniors and championing them, and also the connection between them. So you're going to notice that a lot of the speakers that we're bringing to you come from various ages. There's so much to learn from simply sitting and listening to others in our community. And so the Gaily Dose before, but the Gaily Impact especially, will be seeking to share wisdom with you in this masterclass and otherwise. So I apologize that you all are not going to be able to chat right now with me, but I want to kind of walk through something. A couple things. So the first thing is I want to just talk about when I say a house, right? I want you all to reflect. I think that for an LGBTQ person, but really for any person that's out there, we go through a lot to just get to right here, to where you are right now as you are listening. You go through the traumas that your mom maybe has given you. Raise your hand or kind of think about that. I know that there are some of you out there who have certainly gone through your mama trauma, or you've gone through your father trauma, right? You've gotten things from either one of your parents, and we know hurt people, right? And all of our parents are just humans at the end of the day. And so we as LGBTQ people, we get to go through that just like everyone else, right? And then we get wonderful religion, right? And religion forms a new form of trauma. For some of us, religions weren't embracing of us, but that is something that we had to work through. We've had cultural trauma. So whether it was in school, whether it was in your families in the neighborhood, we all went through certain levels. And that's not just uniquely LGBTQ. If you were a female, if you were a person of color, all of us have gone through various levels of societal trauma. And then we think about it, we finally come to the place of being out, being proud, and maybe within our own community, some of us have struggled to find a place of love and a place of acceptance. And what I want you to know here at the Gaily Impact, the work that we do is focused on making sure that you feel love from your community to you. Some of the people I talk to in our community are so excited about our community because they feel that love, they feel that connection. And some of us in the community have not been given that from each other. We have been holding of that love because of our traumas, because it's been difficult and it's been a hard road. And the data shows it. If you look at our community today, if you look at our numbers, if you're talking about our anxiety, our depression, our substance use, our numbers are challenging, our rates of divorce. We are not yet a fully thriving and fully embraced society. We are doing better, but we will continue to do so if we continue to show love to one another. And so what the Gaily Impact does is we really want to highlight people who love the LGBTQ community and want to uplift it. The souls that you're going to see speaking here, whether it was Marcy or Gabrielle, who've spent countless hours serving the community, each of the individuals you're going to hear from has a strong passion for this community, has really thought about and spent time and consideration in how they can support and encourage you. And so whichever one of these different topics, some of them are podcasters, some of them are activists, they have been thinking and creating solutions to help people in our community. And what better way is there than to raise up those individuals? There's no one that's an expert, so to speak, in any particular area, but each of us are champions. And so that's something that we want to encourage as you all come to this place. So I'm going to ask you guys a question. I'm going to actually ask you guys a polled question around the areas of your life that you might be looking to improve. So truth be told, if we close our eyes and we ask ourselves, where in life could we be better? Where in life could we want more? Where more could we invest more? We have kind of chosen several different areas to speak to, right? So in our health, we talk about our physical body, how you wake up in the morning, how you honor your body with the food that you consume, with the amount of movement that you give it, with the intentionality you are with the physical form that you have. Our money, right? Our money is such an important way in which we flex our power, in which we basically give away or protect ourselves. And I think a lot of times we shy away from the topic of money and wealth, but in reality, it's an important way in which we can exercise ourselves. And I think it's a joyful thing to think of LGBTQ wealth and the ability for us to give it to others and to protect it for the love of our own kind. I have happiness, and a lot of happiness really stems around your own sense of purpose, your own sense of joy, your own sense of connection to the things that you value. We have love and relationship. So much of our lives is really experienced through the connections we have with each other. And I don't want that to be misconstrued. I think a lot of the world has taken love in the context of the LGBTQ community and sexualized it, when in reality, that is such a small portion of the love and connection that we experience in life. And then I gave you all the option for others as well. So thank you all for responding. I'll show you all the results. I think you can see those there. So we have many of you who want to learn more about health, many of you who want to learn more about money. Those are our top two, it looks like. We have people who want to learn more about love and relationship, and people that are excited to gain more insight into happiness, which is so important. You know, I think that what I want to be sure and communicate to you all as we get ready here for our first speaker is that I think we got like 6 minutes. So what I want to communicate to you all is how important I think it is to me that this become a safe space for you. We will be sending out surveys, asking for feedback. One of the beautiful things about our community is our sensitivity to detail, our sensitivity to honesty, and our sensitivity to loving people well. And I honor that in our community because a lot of us had a very, very keen awareness at a very young age of not necessarily belonging, not necessarily being like everyone around us. And that develops a strength within the LGBTQ community to have a really strong sensitivity. And what I want to communicate to you is that I want this to be a safe space for you to feel free to give that feedback. So I'll be dropping in the chat some ways that you all will be able to give feedback and give more thoughts as we go through. So if you're taking notes, feel free to do so. I'm going to see if I can get the chat feature to work. But I want to kind of just share a story, right? When I was in junior high, I lived in Texas, which was fun growing up as a gay boy in Texas. I remember getting a phone call from my junior high coach asking me if I was going to join the football team or was I going to be a faggot, right? You had that sort of really fun experiences as a young person who still didn't even understand who they were. But I'll never forget, I had a science teacher, and it used to be that when I would go to school, I would get beat up by some of the boys before school because I was so different, right? I was clearly a young gay boy. And I had a school teacher who created a safe space for me to go to. And I would help that science teacher set up his office and set up the room, bring the chairs down. Just a simple gesture that a teacher did back then. Safe spaces are so important to us, but they're not just important to us when we're little kids. They're important to us as adults as we go through our breakups, as we go through losing a job, as you go through so many of the hardships that our community still faces. And we need safe spaces. For a long time, bars were those safe spaces. And I know some of you on this webinar are creating those spaces in your own home. The reality is that the Gaily Impact will provide some place for people to come to, and we're obsessed with that space. But we're also wanting to encourage some of you to take these same things, these same lessons, the same good knowledge that you hear, and go share it and create connection within our own community to share that with. So that is my encouragement to you as we kick off this masterclass. We're going to be focused on how to be healthy, how to be wealthy, and how to be gay. Which being gay is about being happy, really, at the end of the day. So I'm going to actually share two things with you before we get started with our next speaker, Dr. Elijah Nicholas. What I want to do is just share, I'm going to share two things with you all. First of all, if you have not checked it out yet, we have the VIP experience. There is a link to that that you can check out. Ooh, there we go. That you can check out. What I want to make sure that you know about the VIP experience is that it specifically gives you a few things. One is our assessment. Two is our money book, and three is there will be a follow-on VIP experience and webinar that we will have for those individuals who select in. Now, the assessment is actually something we're going to be talking about in one of our other sessions. It's something that I strongly recommend and have done myself as I look to how to experience life more fully. So I wanted to make sure and cover that with you all. And the last thing I wanted to do is point out three important sessions that I want you to note for yourselves. These three are important because they specifically cover topics that I have experience in and experience with. We have a money session this evening, which Kim Schooler will be going through, really around being powerful and knowing how money works. Tomorrow, Jacob E. Carpenter, who's actually a good friend of mine and actually helps me at my gym, will be talking about how to live out well. And then we will have Chloe Taylor Brown at the end of the day on Friday talking about how to improve your excellence to achieve your dreams. So really excited there.